Welcome to my channel. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you understand everything being said in English, but when it's your turn to speak, your mind goes completely blank? You're not alone. In fact, millions of learners struggle with this very thing. Why is it that you can watch movies in English, listen to podcasts, and read books, but speaking still feels like a huge challenge? Stick with me, because in today's video, we're going to explore this mystery and give you the solutions to start speaking more confidently and fluently. Chapter 1. The big difference between understanding and speaking. Let's start by addressing one of the biggest challenges many learners face: the difference between understanding English and speaking it. Understanding English is passive. It's like watching a movie in your native language. You don't have to work hard to comprehend it. The words are just flowing into your brain, and you understand them without much effort. You listen to the dialogue, read the text, and everything makes sense. You feel confident when you understand English. But speaking, that's a whole different story. Speaking English is active. It's an exercise of your brain and mouth working together in real time. Imagine this. You're in a conversation, and you need to form sentences instantly. Think of the right words, remember the grammar rules, and pronounce everything correctly. It's not just about understanding what others say, it's about organizing your own thoughts and speaking them clearly. Now, why is this such a big deal? Here's the truth. Your brain needs to juggle several things at once when you speak. First, you need to recall vocabulary. It's not just about knowing the words. You have to quickly find the right word at the right moment. Second, you have to arrange those words in a sentence that makes sense. Third, you must remember the grammar rules while speaking. This is where many learners get stuck. They're trying to think, organize, and speak all at the same time. And let's not forget pronunciation. When speaking, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that matters. This is a massive mental load, and for many learners, it can feel like a race against time. Your brain is working hard to match the speed of the conversation, and in that moment, everything you've learned can seem to slip away. That's why you understand English but struggle when it's time to speak. But here's the kicker. This is completely normal. Most learners experience this gap. Even people who are fluent in other languages often face the same challenge when learning a new language. So if you feel stuck, don't worry. You're not alone. Why does this gap exist? Well, when you learn to understand a language, you're passive, meaning you're receiving information, absorbing new words, phrases, and grammar. But when you speak, you're forced to create the language in real time. It's like building a bridge as you walk across it. You can't just stand still, hoping the words will come. You have to actively build that bridge in the moment, using what you know. And that's why it can be so difficult. But don't worry, there's a way to bridge this gap. In the following chapters, I'll share the tips and tricks to help you get from understanding to speaking. Let's unlock the secrets that will make speaking feel just as easy as understanding. Chapter 2. The Power of Practice and Usage. Let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial to your speaking progress. Practice. Speaking isn't something you can learn by simply listening or reading. It's a skill that requires active engagement. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You can watch hours of swimming tutorials or read about techniques. But unless you get into the water and start practicing, you'll never improve. The same applies to speaking English. You can read every grammar book, listen to podcasts, and watch movies in English, but without actually speaking, you won't make significant progress. Now, many learners focus a lot on reading, listening, and grammar exercises. These are great, don't get me wrong, but they don't help your speaking directly. You need to actively practice speaking if you want to bridge the gap between understanding and speaking. The truth is, most people avoid speaking because it feels uncomfortable or challenging, but that's exactly why practice is so important. The more you practice, the more comfortable you become. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to practice speaking English. In fact, waiting for the right time could mean waiting forever. If you're waiting for the perfect opportunity to speak with a native speaker or find a partner to practice with, you're missing out on the most important thing: speaking right now. Here's the good news. You can practice speaking anytime and anywhere. Let's look at some practical ways you can start practicing. Speak in front of the mirror. It might sound silly, but speaking in front of the mirror is an excellent way to practice. You can practice introducing yourself, telling a story, or even just speaking about your day. The mirror helps you see yourself, which builds confidence, and it helps you focus on your mouth movements and pronunciation. Use language apps. There are so many apps that allow you to practice speaking. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Duolingo let you interact with people who are also learning English or native speakers. These platforms offer a great way to practice conversation in a relaxed environment. Talk to yourself. If you don't have anyone to talk to, no problem. Talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, what you see around you, or how your day is going. For example, I'm sitting in my room. The weather outside is sunny. I'm recording a YouTube video right now. Talking to yourself is a way to keep your brain active and to practice English even when you're alone. Read out loud. Take a book, article, or even your favorite song lyrics and read them out loud. This helps you practice pronunciation and fluency. It also trains your brain to think in English, which is key for speaking spontaneously. Shadowing. This is a technique where you repeat what you hear in real time. For example, listen to a short audio or video clip, then immediately repeat what you heard. This method helps you mimic pronunciation, rhythm, and even sentence structure. Over time, you'll find that your speaking speed and fluency improve significantly. Remember, consistency is key. Even if you only have 10 minutes a day to practice speaking, do it. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. So don't wait for the perfect opportunity to practice. Speak now, speak often, and speak as much as you can in as many situations as possible. The more you practice, the more your brain will start to automatically process English in real time. But how do you incorporate this into your daily routine? Let's say you don't have an English-speaking partner around you. No worries. You can still practice during your daily activities. For instance, when you're cooking, you can describe what you're doing. I'm chopping the onions now. I need to stir the sauce. Or when you're walking, try to think of everything around you in English. The sky is blue, the trees are tall, there's a dog running in the park. It might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to keep speaking. And here's another tip. Record yourself. Use your phone or a recording app to capture your speech. When you listen to yourself, you'll become more aware of any mistakes you might be making and can correct them. Plus, it helps you track your progress over time. I know it can feel challenging at first, but remember, every time you speak, you're improving. Speaking isn't something you can perfect by thinking about it alone. You need to put in the effort. The more you practice, the easier it gets, and the more fluent you'll become. Start speaking today, even if it's just a little bit. Every small step counts. So, let's get started. Find your way to practice and make it a habit. Keep speaking every day, and soon enough, you'll see the improvement. Chapter 3. Overcoming the fear of speaking. Fear is one of the biggest roadblocks that learners face when it comes to speaking English. It's a fear that holds many people back from practicing and improving their skills. This fear comes in many forms: the fear of making mistakes, the fear of being judged, and the fear of not sounding good enough. These fears can feel paralyzing, and before you know it, you're avoiding speaking altogether. But here's the thing. Making mistakes is a natural and necessary part of learning. In fact, it's one of the best ways to improve. Let's break this down. First, think about when you were learning to walk as a child. You didn't give up after the first fall, did you? No. You got back up and tried again and again until it became second nature. Language learning works the same way. Mistakes are your steps forward. Every time you make a mistake, it means you're trying. You're using English in real situations, and you're learning. It's proof that you're actively working on your skills. Here's the thing that many learners don't realize. You won't get better unless you make mistakes. Think about it. When you're speaking and you make a mistake, it helps you recognize where you need improvement. Maybe you didn't use the right word, or your sentence structure was off. By noticing these mistakes, you can learn how to correct them the next time. Mistakes are the stepping stones to fluency. But the fear of making those mistakes can be so strong, it stops us from even trying. So how do we overcome that fear? First, let's focus on starting small. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of speaking, don't jump straight into long conversations. Instead, begin with simple sentences. Start with basic phrases like, "Hello, how are you?" or "I need help with this." The goal is to practice speaking in short, manageable chunks. Once you gain confidence with small sentences, you can gradually move on to longer ones. Next, it helps to find a language buddy. Having someone to practice with can make the process less intimidating. This person doesn't have to be a native speaker, just someone who is also learning English or someone who is patient and encouraging. Practicing with a language buddy gives you a safe space where you can make mistakes without the fear of judgment. It's a collaborative learning experience where both of you can improve together. Even if you don't have a language buddy, there are apps and platforms that connect you with other learners or speakers. Another technique is to focus on communication, not perfection. English is not about speaking perfectly. It's about getting your message across. Even if your grammar is not perfect, or if your pronunciation is a little off, if the person you're speaking to understands what you mean, then you've succeeded. Fluency is about being understood, not about speaking without mistakes. When you focus on expressing your ideas clearly rather than trying to speak perfectly, it takes a huge weight off your shoulders. Now, let's talk about how fear itself can actually prevent you from learning. Fear is not just a barrier to speaking. It also affects your brain's ability to absorb information. When you're anxious or worried about making mistakes, your brain goes into survival mode. It's too busy thinking about the fear to focus on learning. This can create a cycle where the more you avoid speaking, the more fear you feel, and the less confident you become. But here's where we can flip that mindset around. Start seeing mistakes as part of the process, not as something to be afraid of. The fear you feel is actually a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and growing. Instead of saying, "I don't want to speak because I'll make a mistake," say to yourself, "I'm going to speak and I might make a mistake, but that's okay. It's helping me get better." Another way to overcome fear is to visualize success. Before you start speaking, take a moment to visualize the conversation going well. Imagine yourself speaking clearly, feeling confident, and expressing your thoughts easily. Positive visualization can help reduce anxiety and boost your confidence. Finally, remember that everyone experiences fear when speaking a second language. Even native speakers sometimes feel nervous when speaking in public or when trying to communicate in another language. It's completely natural. But the key is to push through that fear and speak anyway. Over time, as you practice more and face that fear head-on, you'll find that it gets easier. To wrap up this chapter, here's what you need to remember. Mistakes are normal, they're necessary, and they're the key to improvement. Focus on starting small, practice with a buddy, and always remember that communication is more important than perfection. If you feel fear, don't let it stop you. Use it as fuel to keep going. Speak confidently, and know that with every word, you're one step closer to mastering English. Chapter 4. Learn in chunks, not just words. When most people start learning English, they often focus on memorizing individual words. While learning vocabulary is important, trying to memorize words one by one can lead to slow and disconnected speech. Imagine you're having a conversation and you suddenly can't find the right word to say. You pause, search your memory for the right word, and then struggle to put together a sentence. This is a common experience for many learners, and it can make speaking English feel frustrating and unnatural. But there's a better way. Instead of just memorizing individual words, let's talk about the power of learning chunks of language. Chunks are groups of words that commonly appear together in real conversations. These could be complete phrases, collocations, or sentence structures that native speakers use all the time. For example, instead of memorizing individual words like good, weather, and today, you could learn the whole phrase, "It's a beautiful day today." This way, you don't have to think about each word individually. You already know the phrase, and you can use it naturally in conversation. Learning chunks helps you speak more naturally and fluently. It's like having a toolkit of ready-made sentences and phrases that you can pull out in real time without having to stop and think about the words or structure. Think about how children learn their first language. They don't focus on individual words. They learn phrases like, "What's that?" or "I want to go." These chunks become automatic, and they help children speak confidently and quickly. Now, let's explore how you can start learning and using chunks in your own language learning. Step 1. Identify chunks in real-life conversations. One of the easiest ways to identify useful chunks is to listen to real conversations. Whether it's in a podcast, a TV show, or a YouTube video, pay close attention to the phrases that people use repeatedly. These are the chunks that will help you sound more like a native speaker. For example, you might hear common phrases like, "I'm afraid not," "That sounds great," or "Could you please?" These are all chunks that you can memorize and use in your own conversations. Step 2. Use movies and podcasts to find chunks. Movies, podcasts, and even YouTube videos are excellent sources of natural, everyday language. When you hear a phrase that you like, pause the video and repeat it out loud. This will help you get used to the rhythm and pronunciation of the chunk. You don't need to memorize every single word. Just focus on the useful phrases that you hear frequently. For example, in movies, you might hear phrases like, "I'll get back to you later. What do you think?" Or, "I'll take care of it." These are all common chunks that you can start using in your own speech. Step 3. Practice speaking with chunks. Once you've identified some useful chunks, it's time to start using them in your conversations. Try to incorporate these phrases into your daily speech. For example, instead of saying, "I want to go out," you can say, "I feel like going out today." By using chunks, you don't have to think about how to form a sentence from scratch. You just use the phrases you've already learned. The more you practice using chunks, the more natural it will feel. You can also make a list of chunks and practice them every day. Write down a few useful phrases and then try to use them in your daily conversations. If you don't have anyone to practice with, speak out loud to yourself or record yourself practicing. Every time you use a chunk in a conversation, you're one step closer to sounding more fluent. Step 4. Focus on meaning, not perfection. When using chunks, focus more on communication than perfection. English isn't about speaking without mistakes. It's about getting your message across. So, don't worry about making every sentence perfect. Instead, focus on using the chunks you've learned to express your ideas clearly and confidently. Over time, as you keep practicing, your ability to use more complex sentence structures will improve. Step 5. Expand your chunk collection. As you continue to practice, you'll naturally expand your collection of chunks. Start with the basic ones: greetings, common questions, and simple statements. Then, move on to more advanced phrases that you hear in movies, podcasts, or books. The more chunks you know, the more confident you'll feel when speaking, because you won't have to pause to think about the right words. You can even learn chunks in context. For example, when you're learning how to order food at a restaurant, learn phrases like, "I'll have the," or "Can I get the check, please?" These specific chunks will help you navigate certain situations more easily. In summary, learning chunks is a powerful way to improve your speaking fluency. By focusing on phrases and sentence structures that you can use in everyday conversations, you'll be able to speak more naturally, with less hesitation and more confidence. Remember, fluency isn't about knowing every word. It's about knowing the right chunks to use at the right time. So, stop memorizing individual words and start learning chunks that will help you speak like a native. The more you practice using them, the easier it will become. Keep going, and soon enough, you'll be able to speak fluently without even thinking. Chapter 5. Building Fluency with Self-Talk. When you're learning English, it's easy to believe that in order to practice speaking, you need to have someone else to talk to. Many learners feel discouraged because they don't have an English-speaking partner, or they worry that they can't practice unless they're speaking to a native speaker. But what if I told you that speaking to yourself could be just as effective, and in some ways even more beneficial? Yes, you heard that right. Self-talk can help you build fluency and confidence in English, and it's a powerful tool that you can use anytime and anywhere. Whether you're at home, in your car, walking in the park, or even just sitting at a coffee shop. Self-talk gives you the freedom to practice without the pressure of speaking to someone else. Let me explain why self-talk is so powerful. When you speak aloud to yourself in English, you're training your brain to process and produce language in real time. It's like a mini workout for your brain and your mouth. You get to practice thinking in English, which is one of the biggest steps towards fluency. The more you practice speaking out loud, the more automatic your responses become, and the faster you can form sentences. So, how can you use self-talk to your advantage? Here are some simple and effective exercises that you can start doing today. 1. Narrate your actions. This is one of the easiest and most natural ways to practice self-talk. As you go through your day, simply describe what you're doing. For example, if you're making breakfast, you might say, "I'm making some toast now. I need to butter it. I'll have coffee with my toast." Or if you're cleaning, you can say, "I'm sweeping the floor. I need to clean the kitchen counters next." By narrating your actions, you're constantly practicing English without needing a conversation partner. This helps you use everyday vocabulary and sentence structures in a real context, which makes the language feel more natural. 2. Talk about your day. Another great way to practice self-talk is to talk about your day, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or evening. You can do this as a way to reflect, but it also gives you a chance to use a variety of tenses and vocabulary. For example, in the morning you might say, "I'm getting ready for the day. I need to grab my phone and check my schedule. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. Later in the day you might say, "Today has been really productive. I finished all my tasks, and now I'm looking forward to relaxing." This exercise helps you think on your feet and organize your thoughts in English. It also boosts your confidence because you're constantly reinforcing sentence structures and vocabulary. 3. Imitate conversations. Another fun and effective exercise is to imagine conversations. You can act out both sides of a conversation, whether it's at the grocery store, in a restaurant, or a job interview. For example, Imagine you're at a coffee shop ordering a drink. You, as the customer, "Hi, I'd like a cappuccino, please." You, as the barista, "Sure, would you like it hot or iced?" You, as the customer, "I'll have it hot, please. And can you add extra foam?" Doing this exercise helps you practice real-life situations and vocabulary, and the best part is that you can do it whenever you have a few minutes to spare. This also builds confidence because you're simulating real conversations that you'll be able to use in the future. 4. Ask and answer questions. If you're not sure what to talk about, a great exercise is to ask yourself questions and then answer them. It's like interviewing yourself. You can ask simple questions about your preferences or reflect on your goals. For example, "What's your favorite movie?" "I love Inception. It's a great film with amazing visuals." "What are your goals for the next year?" "I want to improve my English and travel more." By doing this, you practice forming both questions and answers, which is essential for having a two-way conversation. 5. Rehearse future conversations. One of the best ways to feel more prepared for speaking situations is to rehearse future conversations. If you know you're going to have a meeting, a social gathering, or a phone call in English, you can practice what you want to say ahead of time. This helps you feel more confident and prepared. For example, if you're having a job interview, you might rehearse your answers to common questions like, "Interviewer, tell me about yourself." You: "I'm passionate about languages and communication. I've been studying English for several years, and I enjoy helping others improve their skills." By practicing your responses beforehand, you reduce the anxiety of having to think on the spot, and you'll feel more fluent when the time comes. 6. Use positive affirmations. Self-talk can also be used to boost your confidence. Positive affirmations are statements that help you build a positive mindset and reduce anxiety. For example, tell yourself, "I am confident in my English skills. I am improving every day. I will speak clearly and confidently." These affirmations help combat negative thoughts and remind you that you are capable of speaking well in English. Positive self-talk helps build the mental and emotional strength you need to succeed in your language learning journey. 7. Record and listen to yourself. A final tip is to record yourself speaking. You can use your phone or a voice recorder app to record your self-talk and then listen to it. This helps you identify areas for improvement, such as pronunciation, grammar, or fluency. When you listen to yourself, you can hear how you sound and make adjustments. Over time, you'll start noticing your progress, and this can be a huge confidence booster. In summary, self-talk is one of the most effective ways to practice speaking English, especially if you don't have someone else to talk to. Whether you're narrating your actions, rehearsing conversations, or using positive affirmations, you're constantly building your fluency and confidence. The best part is that you can practice anytime, at home, in your car, while walking, or even when doing simple tasks. The more you speak to yourself, the more natural English will feel. So, start today. Speak aloud, make mistakes, and watch yourself grow in fluency. Chapter 6. Using Technology to Your Advantage. In today's world, technology has completely transformed the way we learn languages. It's no longer necessary to be in a classroom or wait for a conversation partner to practice speaking English. Thanks to advances in AI and language learning apps, you can now practice speaking whenever you want, wherever you are. In this chapter, I'm going to show you how to use these incredible tools to your advantage so you can improve your speaking skills and feel more confident. Technology opens up endless possibilities for practicing English. Whether you're using AI assistants, language exchange apps, or real-time conversation platforms, you can practice speaking in a safe and supportive environment. And the best part? You don't need to feel self-conscious because these tools allow you to practice without the fear of judgment. Let's take a look at some of the most popular apps and tools that can help you build your speaking skills. 1. AI assistants. Practice conversations anytime. AI assistants like ChatGPT, Pi, or Google Assistant are fantastic tools for practicing real-time conversation. These apps let you chat with an AI that responds to you, just like a person would. You can ask questions, have a discussion, or simply practice phrases you're trying to remember. The beauty of using AI assistants is that you can practice anytime, at night, early in the morning, or during a lunch break. And because these apps are powered by AI, they won't judge you if you make mistakes. They'll just help you learn. One of my favorites for practicing conversations is ChatGPT. It's like having a conversation with a language partner who is always available and won't get tired. You can practice different situations like ordering food, introducing yourself, or asking for directions, and the AI will guide you with natural conversational responses. You can even ask it to correct your mistakes so you know how to improve. 2. Language exchange apps. Real conversations with real people. If you're looking for a more human connection, language exchange apps are perfect for you. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, and Speaky connect you with people from all over the world who are also learning English or who are native speakers. These platforms allow you to chat with others in real time, giving you the opportunity to practice real conversations. What's great about language exchange platforms is that you can connect with people who are interested in helping you learn while they practice their own language. You can text, send voice messages, or even have voice and video calls. These apps are a great way to get feedback from native speakers and hear how they really speak, the tone, rhythm, and expressions they use in daily conversations. Plus, most apps have a chat correction feature, where your conversation partner can point out mistakes and give suggestions, helping you learn in a real-world context. 3. Pronunciation and fluency tools. If you're specifically working on improving your pronunciation and fluency, there are some amazing apps designed just for that. Elsa Speak, for example, helps you focus on pronunciation by using AI to evaluate your speech and give feedback. It helps you identify the areas where you need to improve, and it suggests exercises to make your speaking clearer. Speechling is another app that allows you to practice your pronunciation and get feedback from native speakers. With these apps, you can practice saying phrases, and they will provide immediate feedback on your accuracy. This helps you develop confidence in your speaking because you'll know exactly how to pronounce the words correctly and feel comfortable saying them in conversations. Fourth, interactive language learning platforms. Many interactive platforms like Duolingo, Babbel, and Busuu offer speaking exercises where you practice speaking English by responding to prompts. These platforms use voice recognition technology to evaluate your speech and give you immediate feedback. By completing speaking tasks and using the voice features, you can practice pronunciation, sentence structure, and everyday expressions. One of the great things about these apps is that they focus on making learning fun. They use gamification elements, such as levels, rewards, and challenges, to motivate you to practice every day. This can be incredibly helpful if you're trying to develop a habit of speaking regularly. You can set daily goals and track your progress as you get better. 5. Online English tutors. If you want personalized help and more structured speaking practice, many platforms offer online English tutors who can guide you through lessons and conversations. Websites like Italki, Preply, and Verbling connect you with native-speaking tutors who can help you with real-time conversations, grammar correction, and pronunciation. These platforms allow you to book one-on-one lessons that fit your schedule. While paid tutors offer personalized help, you also get the opportunity to practice speaking with someone who can correct your mistakes and give you advice on how to improve. If you're aiming to get fluency quickly, having a tutor guide you through lessons and conversations can be an incredibly useful tool. 6. Record and listen to yourself. Using technology doesn't always have to mean chatting with AI or a human partner. You can also use voice recording apps to practice speaking on your own. Record yourself speaking in English, then listen to your recording. This can help you identify areas where you can improve, such as pronunciation, speed, and clarity. Listening to yourself also builds self-awareness, so you can track your improvement over time. Apps like voice memos or Evernote are great for recording short conversations or practice sentences. You can listen to your recordings later, compare them with native speakers, and see where you need to make adjustments. The more you listen to yourself, the more you'll improve and develop the confidence to speak even better. In conclusion, technology offers a wealth of tools to help you improve your speaking skills. Whether you're practicing with AI assistants, chatting with language partners through exchange apps, or working on pronunciation with specialized tools, technology allows you to practice speaking anytime, anywhere. By integrating these resources into your routine, you'll have access to an endless pool of English speakers and practice partners, all at your fingertips. So, embrace technology, use these tools, and make them a part of your learning journey. The more you use these resources, the quicker you'll see improvement. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and soon enough, you'll notice how much more confident you've become in speaking English. The world is your practice partner. Use it. Now that you have all these powerful tips to improve your speaking skills, it's time to take action. Remember, practice makes perfect. Start speaking every day, make mistakes, and learn from them. That's how you'll improve. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more tips and lessons. I want to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge you face when trying to speak English? Share it with me in the comments below, and I'll be sure to help you overcome it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing, you've got this.